Hello, everyone. I am having my second Zoom interview with the one and only Jah Kirk, currently with Shiro Records, but he's going to tell us a lot more that he's been doing. Jah Kirk, greetings.
Blessed greetings.
And how are you today?
I'm 100. I'm 100, you know.
100.
Especially on today, because today is a special day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell us why it's special?
Well, today is His Majesty Emperor Haille Selassie Earthstrong. So
right.
It's
a very special day.
Yes.
And isn't it nice that you're doing your interview today? That's nice.
That's right.
Yes. Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna go from the beginning.
Yes.
We know that you're from Jamaica, but let's go and talk about where you were born and what your childhood was like.
Okay. Well, yes, I was born in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. But I grew up in St. Anne, Garden Parish of Jamaica, St. Anne, in a little village called Murray Mount. Yes. That's where I grew up. So I would say I am from St. Anne. I would say that. Yes, St. Anne.
That's where your childhood was.
Yes, everything that I remember is from St. Anne, up in Murray Mount. Yes.
And you said before that a lot of now famous musicians and artists came from St. Anne.
Oh yes, definitely.
Tell me some of them.
Well, literally 15-20 minutes from me, you have Romain Virgo down in Stepney. And half an hour, 25 minutes from me again, you have the king of reggae, Bob Marley. And a hour or maybe an hour and a half down in Ochi Rias, you'll find my like Burning Spear, you know? And also Max Romeo as well, from St. Anne, Alexandra, you know? So yes, and even Busy Signal from Brownstown, you know? So we have a lot of people, you know, from big artists from there. Yes.
And but you know Romain Virgo quite well, don't you?
Oh yes, we went to school together. You know, we went to primary school and then to secondary school, which is in Jamaica we call it high school. So we went to Stepney Primary and then we went to Arbuthnot Gallimore High School. You know, that's across the road from the mighty Bass DC sound. You know, that's our gem. That's our big sound in St. Anne. You know, the mighty Bass DC. Yes. So yeah, I went to school to Romain Virgo. We in the choir as well. We always in the choir, and you know, and we went on TV doing TV program. We did a thing they call All Together Sing. It's similar to X Factor, but with high school choir, you know. And we entered, Arbuthnot Gallimore entered in 2004, if I remember correctly, and we came second. So yeah, and then Romain Virgo go move onward and do what he's doing. So yeah, yes.
So describe to me your childhood. What was your childhood like in Jamaica in those days?
My childhood in Jamaica, looking back, because back then I didn't really fully appreciate loved it. But looking back at it now as an adult growing up, I realized that it was very, 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 very good. It makes me the man that I am today, you see. So back then, you know, little country boy run up and down, you know, used to, you know, it's all about friends and close family. It was I alone there because my mom left me in Jamaica and came to England. And she, you know, I grew up without siblings at the time. So it was just cousins and friends and, you know, it was a lovely childhood, man. It was nice, you know, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, what you don't know, you don't miss. That's what they say. Exactly.
Very
Yeah.
true, very true, very true.
Yeah. So, what is the foundation of your music? Where does that come from? Where did music begin for you?
Music started from in the womb, you know. Every time somebody asks me that question, I give them this answer because it's the truth. It's the truth, you know. Music started from in the womb. You know, when you reach a certain age and you can sit with your parents or your mom or your guardian or whatever, and you ask the question, where did I come from? How did I come to exist? You know, what was I like as a child? And you get information. And one of the information for me was when I was in my mother's womb, you know, to find out if I am alive, or if, you know, if I'm moving too much or doing something, they would play music and I would react to the music in different ways, you know. And so they knew from birth that music was gonna be something of, you know, which my brother was gonna do. So from then, you know, from whatever I can think back and remember back, it's always been music in the house, because again, I grew up in a church, so it comes from that as well. A part of it comes from the church, because you don't know the way they singing and praising and whatsoever they do in a church. You know, you rub off by you too. But you know, me always in my house, and my grandmother, grew up with my grandmother in my house, and it was always banging, knocking, night and all these things, and music was always there, you know? Yes.
So, okay. So, what year are we talking about when music began for you? What?
Well, properly, in terms of properly, it's just from, say, 2012.
Okay.
But from birth, you know, from the early 90s, from 90s, I was a child back then, you know, and it was always just music, man. From I think I say start from, you know, and I learned how to play the piano from a great friend of mine, you know. We call him Bubba, you know, but his name is Rowan, and we call him Bubba Bleeding, you know. Now he grew up in a church like me, but his background in music is like the pinnacle of church music, because his grandfather and parents are big in the church, you know. They are known. They are like you know, in the church. So that's where I learned as well how to play the piano from Bleedy. When he come to Rastafari and he start spread his wings, you know, and form a little band named the Black Lion Band, and I was a part of that. You know, he taught me how to play the keyboards, and you know, and it helped me up to this day in my career now. You know, so yeah, big up Bubba Bleedy.
So did you know you wanted to be in music before you came over to the UK, or did it start in Jamaica?
Yes, music starts from, as we said, from in the womb. So there was nothing else. You know? Yeah. I remember at one point in when I was learning keyboards, you know, I get so frustrated because I couldn't do what was required, you know, and I get frustrated myself. And I left the studio for a bit and was hiding basically, and music pulled me back. It was a Saturday, I can't ever forget. It was a Saturday, I went back in the studio and I sneak in the studio, you know, when I think nobody was there. So, you know, come back in the studio, turn on the keyboard, and I was trying to do what we was learning to do. And I still couldn't get it, and I was frustrated. But when I look up, I see Bleedy, you know, standing at the kitchen, you know, looking at me. And I was surprised, I was shocked. And I was gonna run out, but him say, hold on, man, hold on. So him come over and him took a chair and he turned off the keyboard thing, and him sit down with me. And him said, Jah Kirk, apart from music, what else can you do? What are your skills? What sort of skills you have apart from doing music? And I went blank. I went literally dumb, speechless. I couldn't answer it. Up to this day, I can't answer that question because apart from music, there's nothing else I can do, really, apart from maybe cook some food, you know? So when he asked me that question, I realized that this is definitely the road. It weren't chosen by me. This road was given to me by the Almighty Jah Rastafari. You know, everybody have something that the Most High give them as their talent, as their gift, as something. You know, some people can play football, and some people can play cricket, some people can run, some people can give speeches, some people can, you know, do things. But apart from music, me can't really do much apart from it. So I think that is a God-given gift to I. And, you know, I love it. I really love it, you know?
Yes, I can see that. So, you said that he called you Jah Kirk. How did you become Jah Kirk? Because you weren't born Jah Kirk. Yeah, how did you become Jah Kirk?
Well, it's around that time when I was around Baba Bleed, as I said earlier on. You know, he was a churchman as well, but he find Rastafari and he, you know, him start doing his thing and his cousin and stuff like that. And while being around Bleedy and being around, because to be honest with you, from I was a young child, I always admire the Rasta man. You know, this man is so majestical in his ways, his action, is always so polite and pleasant. You know, he always have good things to say about you. And I always get fascinated about that. Like, what? This man, people always cuss him and say, this man damn grass and, you know, what heap of things, and this man have lice in his head, but this man never cuss people, and him always have good things. When a Rasta man would see me as a little child, they would say, come here, little king. And I always feel like, yeah, me a king for Joe. You know, that man, they make you feel special, and I always drawn to that. And when I went round to Bleedy them now and start doing the music, and we start have like service, like not just service, but you know, we have conversation, and I start to learn about His Majesty and what His Majesty stands for, and you know, and I could see myself in that light, you know, and so I start drawing nearer to Rasta, you know, and everything just manifests from there. We get the name Jah Kirk from right in the studio, right there. That's when them call me Jah Kirk, you know. Then they say, yo, your name Kirk, so then put Jah in front of you, because Jah lead you, and you're gonna name Jah Kirk. You see me? And I'm like, yeah, man, I love that.
That's all right.
Yes, that's well all right.
That's all right, yeah.
Put Jah first and everything will come after, you know?
That's right.
That's why the name comes from, you know, Jah Kirk.
That's right.
Yeah.
So your music started, you were Jah Kirk, you had your music, you learned to play the keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you come over to the UK?
Well, coming to the UK, I always been coming to the UK to and from when I'm a child, because as I said earlier on, my mom, she left me to grow with my grandparents. But I always come here as a young child, you know, come here, spend Christmas, summer holidays, but I never like it because we never really know nobody over here. We never have family like that. And, you know, kids I'm gonna play with. So I always cry to go back home. But as I get older, you know, and my mom started to have more children. She had 4 boys, you know. I'm the eldest. You have me, Christopher, Ryan, and Ryan J. Now, when she had Christopher in about 2000 and things, you know, she started look about me to come here to live permanently, you know. And to be honest with you, I hide and bring me to England. If I get the history of that story, you see, when my mother said, send come tell my grandmother said, they tell me that I am just going to Kingston to update my passport, you see. So we went to Kingston, but I never knew that I was going to Kingston to actually sign the papers to get my indefinite leave to remain documents, you know, so they tricked me. So while I was in Kingston, my mother booked flight for me, everything. We never know about this. So now, I only heard about this, so I'm coming to England. Like, say I'm coming to England on the Friday, we'll be about at the Thursday. Say, you're not going back to St. Anne, you'll be on the next flight tomorrow to England. I couldn't believe this, because we are planning big, because at the time, my cousin's birthday was coming up. One of my cousins, we was planning to have this big party, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. When I went to Kingston, I have to make the call back to St. Anne to say, well, I'm not coming back, you know. So the next day, I was on the plane coming to England. I came to England 2008, you know, 18th of December 2008. That's when I came to rest in the United Kingdom, you know.
That's 12 years ago.
Yeah,
12 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, not long, innit?
Not long at all. Not long at all. So,
yes.
How did you find your musical roots when you got here? What happened when you got here?
Oh,
when you got in the UK.
When I come to the UK, and I'm in the UK now, I used to live in Wembley Park, Charkill Road, and we used to go shopping. And I remember it was a summer's evening. We went Asda's, and coming back with the groceries, I saw this brother going into the community center in Charkill Road with some keyboards and some computers and things to make music. So I shout out to him across the road, say, hey, you can't play that enough. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, man. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, where you live? And I said, we live right there. And he said, okay. You're busy? No, come check me. So I went there, help him with what he was doing, help him with the kids, you know, doing some music with the kids, them show them what to do, blah, blah, blah. When that was finished, he liked what I did. So he asked me, you know, if I want to come in the studio and do some work. So I'm like, yeah, man, you know, excited because I was the first time now, other than Jamaica, I'm going to get to do music properly because I was going to go play a keyboard in the house, but in a studio. So now I went to his house, did some music and love it. And we was there for a while and a couple of months, and his friend came to visit him one day, and you know, we get chatting, and his friend is a guitarist, by the way. And we were chatting, and he's like, you know, we're having a thing for some MP down at BBMC, and then we want some musician, and we want a keyboard. We don't like to come and play some keyboard. I'm like, yeah, man, I would definitely love to come and play some keyboard. So I went there, went down to BBMC with the guitarist, and I met, you know, Diane White, I met Caroline, I met Fagan, and I met my music mother, me call her, Mother Ed, Kitty Coben. you know, and they were very impressed with me where I did what I did, and a freshman just coming to England, you know, it's exciting for them. And Kitty took me under her wings and, you know, start showing me around London, and she would carry me everywhere she was going, and I would meet people, and then the one thing to the next, and I meet Trevor Dixon, and Trevor Dixon now bring me to his husband, and I met Trevor Dixon bring me to now my home studio, which is Black Lindy Studio, and I met Mr. Black Lindy. So the day I met Mr. Black Lindy, Trevor Dixon called me and tell me, say, yo, me have some work for you to come do. I want a studio, come. So he give me the direction and I went there. I never know nothing. Anyway, got the studio. About half an hour passed, him just get up and say, I'm ready to go. And I get up now ready to go with him because I don't know nobody, I don't know the man. Not like that. But it's like, no, you stay, don't come. You stay and, you know, get familiar with the place. So I stayed, and Mr. Black Lindy asked me, soon as Trevor Dixon left, Mr. Black Lindy asked me, you know, so what can you do? I'm like, yeah man, I'm an artist. I have 10 children, I play a keyboard. And so it's like, oh, here we go. So it's like, where's your book? Where's your book? Or where you write on your music? I say, yo, me don't write music, man. We sing music. So it's like, oh, here we go. So it's like, okay, see a keyboard there, show me what you got. So I get up, go on the keyboard, and I just play the 10 tracks them in a medley, and his mouth went, and you know, he's like, yeah man, you can stay with me. And I'm there up until this day, you know? So that's my trip from Jamaica into London into music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's, I mean, we're going to go on to the Herb Root Rhythm in a minute, and Shiro Records. But before that, you did work.
Right.
What did you do before that?
Well, as I said, when I used to work with, well, not used to, when I'm working with Black Lindy, one of my first, we did some what if I finding your foot, and you know, you go, as a young man, we still find my way, still I'm trying to find where I sit in this music, you know, because I never really see myself as a vocalist at the time. I just see myself as a man who can play a keyboard. I never even see myself as a producer. You know, go do can put music together. But anyway, we put some music together, and one day we come up with this concept, and we fell in love with it. And Lindy said to me that this is the one we're gonna push on. This is what we're gonna work on first. This is gonna be your first major project, you know. And we get first time me I work with that musician like that on my tracks, you know, on my record with me sit down and produce. So getting the musician, drummer, bass, hands, man, everybody come do them thing. And we produce, and James mix it, we produce One by One. That was my first ever single from the Black Lindy studio, you know, and we released that back in 2013, I think. Yes, so that was my first ever project, the One by One project, you know? Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah, man. Good, man.
Yeah. Any more after that? What else happened?
Well, soon after that, we start, because at the time, we didn't kind of have what the other things I deal with, but Rastavaris, my brother for life, big up yourself, Rastavaris, anywhere in the world right now. We work good, we work together, you know, and in get a reading for himself, you know, and in come at the studio one day, and him I reading them. I'm helping him with his song, and you know, like what we do, because we're a team, we never do nothing. We always do things together. So me helping him for him song, and I thought it was just gonna be his production, his song. And he said to me, say, "Boy, Tucker, you can't left me on the rhythm alone to sing. You have to go come up with something as well, to come on the rhythm as well." And I'm like, "No man, that rhythm is too sweet for me, but we can't sing for the rhythm." And he's like, no, you have to find something to sing on it. So I came up with a little book, and I was listening to him, and I was like, talking after right. And you know, they love it. And they're like, yes, that's what we're gonna do. So we sat down, the three of us, me, Rastavaris, and Mr. Black Lindy, we sat down and we wrote that music. And it's called Can I? It's a love song, one of my first love songs, you know? Yeah. yes.
Yeah.
So people can check, it's out there, like one by one, it's out there, you know. I couldn't believe I really sing that because I didn't thought I could do it, but here you go. I sang it, you know, yeah.
Yeah. One by one, is it on all the digital outlets, like?
Yes,
okay.
Can I, one by one, is one by one Jah Kirk.
Okay.
Can I Jah Kirk?
Okay.
Anywhere out there right now, Spotify,
Right.
Instagram,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yes.
So then back to Kitty Corbin and the team. So how did you get into Shiro Records or the team?
Well, the team farm. The team farm.
Oh, the team farm. Oh, it farm.
Yeah, the team farm in 2012. The team farm in 2012.
Okay.
Kitty, we used to go on the road with Kitty Corbin and play little pubs and things, you know. And I used to play people, like I said before. So we met Harmony Deja in a rehearsal. Was doing a show for someone, and Harmony was performing, and you know. So while we were there playing, and you know, everybody had them thing. When rehearsal finished, Kitty said to Harmony Deja, you know, I like your vibe, I like your sing, you can sing, you like your harmony is what you do. You know, we are looking for your backing vocals, would you like to come and join us? And she was over the moon, you know. And so she joined the thing, and from there, it's all been upwards from there, you know. We just become one big happy family with problems in between, but who doesn't?
Yeah.
But that's how we met Harmony Deja, and from then, you know, we go to the studio and we would do the, as you said, do the thing with Kitty and start build up a relationship, friendship, turn into more than friends, and you know, we are here now together as, you know, who we are as a perfect team, you know? Yeah.
And I think I asked you before, you know, how does being in a relationship with Harmony, does it affect your work with the team? Does it affect the dynamics of the team, or is it when you're working, is it just professional all the way?
Well, our professional and other people professional can verify, because it does, but it doesn't. And I've explained why I say it does. It does because you don't know, everybody have their own ideas.
Yes.
So it bring out that fire in the hallway, which we need anyway. It keep us, this being a relationship, doing the music, everything, the family, the team, it keeps you grounded. It keeps you, it show you that you're a part of something. You're not just doing that on your own. So we have to compromise, which is a hard thing to do, I tell you, especially for me. I can't speak for myself, you know, because anything me say, we feel say, I saw it go, but people say otherwise. So it kind of helped each and everyone, not just me, not just Harmony, but Kitty, Ashai, Rastavaris, you know, Black Lindy. It teaches us how to compromise and how to receive other, you know, information, and how to work that information in what we're doing, weaving it in to make sense. And it really does, you know? So in a good way, it affects our relationship. And I wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Where did you get the inspiration for I Found a Good Draw?
A boom jar.
Boom draw, that's it. I said good draw. Boom draw.
Boom jar.
Boom draw.
I tell you what, everybody want to hear this big story about boom jar. Everybody want to hear this story about this boom jar, because they must say, boy, To where you sing that boom jar song there, you sound like boy you did find a boom jar. We want to hear where, so we can go buy some too. It all started 2018. 2018 was a nice year for us. Bittersweet, because Harmony get diagnosed with cancer. And while she was going through treatment, you know, I went to Rotterdam Sunsplash, Rotterdam Festival in Rotterdam. You know? And that was my first big experience in reggae music, to see reggae music for what it truly is. You know, such big color, much people appreciate love this great music. So while we was out there, me and Mr. Black Lindy, you know, man them get a little job, but son had a man who a little herbs, you know, I don't know. I am the baby smoker in the group, you know, yeah. I've out of everybody. You know, I'm the youngest smoker. I'm the youngest actually in the group, in that group, in the family, you know. So when everybody were out there a while, little herbs now, when they up in the Lindy room, sit down and kiss feet and they say, oh, weather nice, we want some jazz. So me just get up out of the chair and go downstairs. Go to the man at the deck, reception man. I mean, I said, I need some weed, we need ganja, herbs, we need something to smoke. Wow. You know, and he's like, you want herbs? He said, yes. And he jump on his phone and he make a call. So when he tell me, say, he might get something coming. So I sat down now, waiting. I'm at the age with her 6th cell, as we said, she was doing this thing, keep chopping off every time. I think he had too big. Sorry.
Or maybe too much hair.
And that, and too much nuts. He can't too much, man. He can't too much. But yeah, when I'm with her 6th cell send me a rhythm, the first sketch of the herb root rhythm. And I was sitting there and I came up with the song. I came up with I found a boom jar. You know, I mean, I sing and make up it, you know. I mean, I say, yes, this our big guy use when we get the ganja, we can go back upstairs. And when we open the door, we can walk in and sing the song. I found a boom jar. So when the man bring the thing come down, I went upstairs in the elevator and, you know, knock on the door, boom, 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 boom. Lindy open the door, and I walk in. I found a boom jar. Oh my God! And everybody was like, "Hey, Jah Kirk, find something!" Everybody excited. So Lindy, being the person he is, he hear the song before anything else, and he was like, "Did you hear that downstairs? Or are you sang that?" So I'm like, I mean, just make it up as a little joke. If he say, you know, I must say, no joke thing that take out your phone and record it. So I pick up my phone and we sing it and record it and Lindy work on the verse, one verse out there, you know. And when he came back into London, we finished the song. And Boom Jah was fun. When I came home and sang it to Harmony, she was like, wow. She couldn't believe it, you know, and straight away she, you know, Harmony Deja with the harmonies. Straight away she starts singing the harmonies, them and, you know, get excited. She sing, you know, remember she sing. Yeah. And Boom Jah was born, man, and yeah.
Everybody talk. This is why I wanted to have the Zoom meeting, because the way you expressed the song on the video. Yes. Everybody's talking about how you really did find a boom draw, and the way you came across, I wanted everybody to see what you're like, you know. It would be easy to write an interview, it'd be easy to write it, but it would be not, you know, I wanted everybody to see what you were like, you know, your personality.
Well, I hope I don't disappoint.
Oh no, I think, you know, it's nice. It's nice to see a charismatic personality, you know.
Oh,
it's very nice to see.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much.
So,
Jah.
okay, you're said, you've been in music, let's say, properly for 12 years. What would you say that you have learned so far?
Patience.
Yeah.
I've learned patience. Just like a farmer waiting on his crop, I learned how to be patient. Because people might think that you sing a song and you produce a little song and tomorrow you're a millionaire. It doesn't work like that, For some lucky people, they might just find that, but for some, it takes time. Music takes time to get where it is, So, that's my biggest thing that I've learned is patient, how to be a patient person, Yeah.
So how would you describe Jah Kirk to somebody?
Well, I would just.
What are you like?
I would describe Jah Kirk to somebody like Jah Kirk is just a joyful little Rasta youth. Just I live the righteous way. Well, I hope I do, the righteous way, and just love. Jah Kirk is love, just a music,
Love and music.
Love and music. That's all I would describe Jah Kirk. And if they love, you love music.
Well, you mentioned it before. Tell us where we can find your works.
Oh, my works. You can find well, first of all, you can find me, Jah Kirk, on Instagram. That's Jah Kirk Music 1. Number 1. Jah Kirk Music 1. All one word. On Facebook is Jah Kirk Jah Light. You see? Jah Kirk Jah Light on Facebook. And you can find one by one Jah Kirk, Can I Jah Kirk, Boom Jah Jah Kirk. You can find it on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Shazam, Spotify, Google Play, any major website where they sell music. It's there. And there's also a video from Boom Jah for Herbal Rhythm on YouTube as well. So people can check that out as well. And come along. Have me on your thing and make we do some work. Come and join Jah Kirk. Yes.
Okay. It was lovely to interview you. As usual, you make me laugh, you make me smile despite myself. Very hard to remain professional with you because you just make me smile. But lovely.
Well, that's a part of professionalism anyway.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Have a good one. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
I found a boom jar, a real natty conga bonga boom jar. I found a boom jar, hey this a one ya make your head lift like a helicopter. I found a boom jar, a real natty conga bonga boom jar. I found a boom jar, hey this a one ya make your head lift like a helicopter.